Coach Lynn's here with another Behind the Program. This time we're going to talk about eccentric work. So right now we've been doing slow eccentrics, 5, 1, 2. So ultimately when it comes to a back squat, we'll put it on you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure it goes to a full range of motion before you explode up. Same thing when it comes down to the bench or pull-ups coming down slow. So there's the bigger ones that we've used when it comes to our slow eccentrics. So the eccentric action is ultimately the muscle lengthening. So as you're coming down, it's lengthening from load during eccentric work. And in our program, there's 3 major reasons why we use it: build strength and power, increases your flexibility and your connective tissues, and then there's great for middle school and high school athletes. So when it comes to the strength part, your body can absorb more force, so it is able to load up more on an eccentric. So when you're coming down on it, it can handle up to 1.7 times more weight coming down slow or coming down as it can as you push away, or on your bench push away from you. So because you are able to add more weight to that part of the motion, you're going to increase your strength levels. Your muscle's going to fire at a higher rate, which then transfers over to more power and increased strength. You use less energy. Your body just uses less energy as it comes down in the eccentric part of any movement as compared to the concentric part. So not only does it help increase strength and power, it allows our athletes then to do more training after, because you're not using as much energy. So when we have practices going on, or when you want to go out of season and want to put on a little bit more work, so it allows for them to have more energy to do that. From there, then the next thing we're talking about is how it increases your flexibility and builds stronger connective tissue. So it increases your range of motion, or because of you're coming down slow, your muscles are getting longer, and ribs, when it's tearing them up, it's long, the sacromeres actually get longer. So longer muscles then help out with that range of motion and flexibility. So instead of stopping here, because my muscles are too tight, we'll go a little bit lower, it allows you to sit down into it. So with that muscle lengthening, not only does it help with the range of motion, but injury resiliency. The longer that muscle is, there's a doctor out there who's done a lot of tests with it, and the longer that muscle is, when it comes to hamstrings especially, it helps prevent those tears, or not tears and strains. It keeps it resilient. And also connective tissues. So connective tissues, your tendons, your ligaments, especially with kids in the middle school, high school, they're growing. Sometimes they're growing 3 inches in a matter of a couple months or a couple weeks. So if we can lengthen that muscle faster by using slow eccentrics, it's going to help out some of that pain. Osgood sluggers, Sievers, it's because that tendon isn't able to catch up. The muscle in your body grows that fast. All right, it's still stuck there. Now the tendon's hurt. So that's one reason why I really do like to use it with our high school and middle school kids, but also it helps out with that injury resiliency. Stronger tendons and ligaments also equals more power. If I can get a nice strong boom tendon, your stretch reflex allows you to get some more power with it. So another reason why we use it for the high school, middle school, is it reinforces technique. When you're coming down, you have to brace your core. It allows for coaching cues as they're going down. So if you got 5 seconds down, that's more time for me to be able to watch. Okay, are they pushing their knees out on a squat, or are they having the bar held right in the bench? I can now coach them through it as they're going through the motion, as compared to normal, when you're going in here at that normal speed. It doesn't give you much time to coach them up on it. So 1, it helps out with reinforcing technique. 2, learn to absorb force. Big thing that we're noticing is making sure these young kids can learn to absorb force. If you can absorb force properly, you can produce more force. So if we can teach them to do it properly and at the right angles, that's going to help transfer them to be better athletes, and just build that foundation with it. And then last one, it can build strength faster in certain movements. And actually overall it can, but there's certain ones that really stand out, and one is the pull-up. A lot of people want to throw banded pull-ups in, and I still do it in our program. But with that banded pull-up, with you always using less weight, you might be able to crank out more reps, but you might not always be doing it properly. And ultimately, with those slow eccentrics coming down, be able to control that body weight again, gravity pulling down on you, your body can handle more weight of it. In that eccentric movement, it's going to transfer over to a faster strength. So when we do our pull-ups, not only can you do from jumping up, but some of your younger kids might not be able to get it, or even some are shorter high school athletes, you can then use a bar at squat height just jump up on squat height, keep your feet up in the air, and slowly fall down into it. So they're different training. Not only is it can be easier for them to do it. When it comes to slow eccentrics, they should be used all year round. Even though it has all these benefits, it should be used all year round. It's just a nice little tool in the toolbox. We'll usually use it 2 to 3 phases throughout the year, just to continue to, again, lengthen those muscles depending on where it is. If we do have people coming in with injuries, right now I've been writing up separate one just for osgood sloggers or for different injuries that come in. Yes, I'll throw those in there more often just because it will help speed up that recovery process. So this is Behind the Program with Liz.